It's great to see everyone. Well, welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon. It is great to see you, and you are very welcome to a webinar by HerGenuityAfrika. I'm not going to take your time because I want us to really get the most of it. And it's really about, creating economic freedom for ourselves, okay, as entrepreneurs, and also ensuring that our leadership capabilities as women of Africa is harnessed, is maximized. All right. And so that's just briefly what I'm going to say. You are welcome to HerGenuityAfrika. As I said, I'm going to tell you more about HerGenuityAfrika later on. But I am so pleased to have Lorraine Wright. She's Ghanaian with her British, I don't know her name, where she got it from. Lorraine Hannah Wright and Atinuka Adegboye. I'm so pleased to have them this morning going to chat with us. We have all the people hopefully coming into the room shortly afterwards, but we're going to start anyway. So just before we start, I want to just point out a few housekeeping rules for us. So while we have our speakers speaking, please keep your mics on mute, just so that we can have their fullest, they can have our fullest attention. And also, if for any reason you get dropped out of the call, simply go back to that link that we sent you on the chat, and just come back in. So we're going to be here until 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock on the dot, we're out. If you have a question, a contribution, whatever, just put that in the chat. All right? There's a question and answer, the chat or the question and answer. There will be a time for that. Okay, so you have a contribution, continue posting your contributions and out there on the chat, in the chat room. We will see it. And if you have a question and answer, go to question and answer session and put up your question there, or you're answering something. Then at the appropriate time, we will bring that all in so that we'll keep everything, in order. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Lorraine, I'm not going to introduce you because I believe that you have more than enough to say about yourself, and you probably will say it even better than I will. Okay, so I'm going to let you roll the ball. Okay, thanks very much. So ladies, if you just give Lorraine unmute your mic so that she can hear you and give her some love. Give her some love.
Right back at you all. Brilliant. Thank you very much for the opportunity to join you this morning, and it's a privilege to have a chance to speak with other female entrepreneurs and people that are also excited about how to push forward the agenda, not only as females, but also largely in Africa as well. So a little bit about myself before I will kind of dive into some things that I wanted to also share. So I am Ghanaian. You asked about my name. How do I put it? I can see we're recorded, but I mean, to be very transparent, like many of our parents, my mum and my father had to move to the UK, and my mum had to, and I don't mind sharing this story, but my mum had to marry in order to get her stay. And so ultimately she had to marry someone who, hence why I now have this last name, not my actual father's last name, but this is part and parcel of what people have had to do before us. Absolutely. In order to get to the UK. So
thanks for sharing that.
You're very welcome. People always ask me, how do you get that name? Because it's not a typical Ghanaian name. So I am a British-born Ghanaian. I am normally based in the UK, in London, but I am back and forth between Ghana and London very, very, very often. I am very passionate about business. I have been working in the financial services industry for the last 10 years, working for UBS Investment Bank, both between London and Zurich, where I spent about 4 years working in Switzerland. My background is largely in the tech space. So even though I've been with financial services, it's largely been in the tech stream, in the tech remit, so IT. But outside of that, I've been very, very passionate about how do you, I know one of the speakers coming up is going to talk about this, but I'm very passionate about multiple streams of income. And as a Christian, I also believe it's important as well to have many different streams and you know, being able to have, and they do say, you know, a millionaire has, you know, 7 streams of income. And so I think it's very important that as women, we might have our full-time jobs, but what else are we doing around that? Whether it's through investment vehicles, whether it's through maybe selling stuff online, whether it's through selling things door to door, whatever it may be, I think it's very important to have multiple streams of income. So my particular background, and I was, you know, I've been very, very passionate about business to the point that I took an executive MBA at the University of Oxford about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm all about, you know, how do you have these various side hustles, so to speak. So I have a beauty spa in Accra, Ghana. I have done things where I've shipped cars to do Uber in Ghana as well. I have some cars on the road here. I have property, both locations. I'm act as a property agent for a property development company in Ghana. And I also have a national competition for gospel choirs in the UK, which is focused on universities. And I also have a talent agency in the UK, which is focused on giving out musical talent. So when you watch shows like maybe X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, and The Voice, I normally supply those shows. And when you see a singer, you see backing vocalists, they come from my company where I supply those. So those are the kind of things I've been doing. But more recently, I've got involved very heavily in the agriculture space. Now, and that's the kind of thing I wanted to share with you all today. And if you don't mind, if you can permit me to share my screen, and I walk you through, you know, some of the things that I find very interesting, and we as women have a chance to really get on the forefront of some stuff that's happening in an innovative space, especially on the continent at the moment. So I am also along the lines of everything else I've just explained to you, and I hope you can all give me a nod if you can see my screen. Please, I'm sharing a presentation. Great. Okay, so one of the things I've recently, actually I've forgotten one more thing that I also do. I have a music app in the app stores as well, that enables people who would like to sing to record themselves sing it, and they can share it on social media. So that's one other thing that I do as well. But in this space of agriculture, you know, I really believe that agriculture is really the new frontier, and especially the green gold when it comes to especially what's happening here in the African continent. I've also been very keen in the past to look at ways and means to get into farming, but in a way not to get my hands physically dirty. You know, I know it's probably not a glamorous area to get involved in, you know, but how can we put some money in it and generate returns and let other people do it on your behalf? And that is a company that I basically also work for at the moment. So I came across this company called Grow For Me. They're a Ghana-based startup. And at the time, I was very much looking for ways to put my money in something and let it grow. You know, those of you that are based in the UK, you know, if you had an ISA generates returns between, you know, 1% at most, you know, unless you've got stocks and shares ISAs and you're familiar with the financial markets, you know, you can probably push your investments up 7, 20, 50%, however much percent. But I really was looking at a passive way to generate some additional income in a different way. So I came across this company and I became a customer of them first and foremost, and then became very close to them. And they eventually over time asked me to come on board to the company. So Grow For Me is essentially a company that is a web-based agricultural crowdfunding and crowd farming platform. What we do is enable anyone to be able to farm. So you could be in the UK, you can be in Nigeria, you can be in the US, Dubai, wherever, and you can farm and generate good returns. And right now, our company is set to be a Pan-African based company, but right now we're focused primarily on Ghana and build out the model to other areas. You might find similar models in Nigeria, you might find similar models in Kenya, South Africa, but right now what we're building is a sustainable model, especially in Ghana, where, you know, the currency is a little bit more stable, you know, there's a little bit more, there's a lot of trade activities and trade agreements that are being born out of Ghana at the moment, which is really a great time and opportunity also to invest here. So really the model is that, you know, we allow people to sponsor experienced farmers. And the whole idea is that farmers will farm for you and they will grow crops for you. It will then be sold and we will all split the profits. So it's a profit sharing model. And really for us, we're all about how do we solve some of the problems that exist here in Africa and be able to create wealth more broadly. So one of the things we do, especially for people that are based outside of Ghana and more broadly outside of Africa, is we leverage both drone and satellite images to help to keep people up to date. So the way that it works is that you sponsor a farmer, or not necessarily one farmer, but it's a crowdfunding basis. And we do that because we want to diversify risk as much as possible. So what we do is we take a pool of money. So let's say we raise 100 grand. That will then be dispersed to a number of farmers across Ghana who have their own farms, and that will then enable them to grow, expand their farms. It is then the products are then sold, and then those products are then we then split the profit. So you would get 50% of the profits, the farmer gets 35%, and Grow For Me as a company get 15%. So what we do is all about transparency. And one of the important things, especially if if we're African, especially in West Africa, it's very hard to trust people, when you will potentially put your money into something. So what we do is we offer as much transparency as possible. We provide satellite images to help keep people up to date. So you'll be able to log in and see your satellite images and pictures as your farm grows. We focus on high demand crops. So we focus on maize, soybean. There's been this tremendous demand in soybean recently. Why? Because a lot of the Europeans and Americans and people outside are all looking at ways to find alternatives to meat products. So tofu and meat and a lot of meat alternatives are born from soybeans. So it's really driving the demand with soybeans, which most farmers here in Ghana are looking at ways to grow more soybeans. Pineapple and sorghum. Sorghum is the grain that is found within malt or Guinness, for example. Pepper, cabbage, and very soon we'll be looking to do more cash crops, for example, coconut, cashew, cocoa, and mango, etc. So really, Grow For Me is for the kind of person that's looking for ways to diversify their investment streams, their investment portfolio. Maybe you might have some interest in agriculture, but don't quite know how to get into it. And maybe you're looking at ways and means to invest in Ghana, but more broadly across Africa, because this is just one area or one region that we are starting with, and obviously broaden out. Now, one thing that coronavirus has taught us is that agriculture value chain is very much pandemic proof, especially in West Africa. West Africa, the agriculture makes up 90% of the food requirements in West Africa. So it means that there's a heavy demand on the agriculture value chain. Now, if we take the UK, for example, or let's take Britain, Boris Johnson, for example, when he announced lockdown, he announced it and everyone went to the shops to go and buy tissue and food, which inevitably tells you that, and you could be anywhere in the world, whatever, government told us to go on lockdown, you ran to the shops, which means that you needed food. And if you look at the Maslow theory of needs, food is a necessity for everyone. So it means, for me, very much so, agriculture is very much an area that there's always going to be a demand and always going to be a need. So I think it's important to obviously look at ways and means for us, to get involved in the agriculture value chain, because there is more of a safety net when it comes to investing in agriculture. Now, one of the things that we at Grow For Me are all about, and I think, whether or not you come away and you say, look, Grow For Me is a great company or not, just in terms of educating ourselves, it's important to know that, in 2050, there will be 2.5 billion Africans. Today, there are 1.6 billion. Now, with that said, we all know that the 1.6 billion people are not all being fed to date. There is a significant gap when it comes to food security and the accessibility and affordability of food on the continent. And why is that? Number one, because there's a lack of investment in the space. There is also aging farmers. So when you think about farmers, people that are, going to the fields and the farms and plowing, and they are aging, But what you're finding is that because there's a lack of money in the space, their children who would inevitably take over from them are running away from that job because they want to go and find money elsewhere and maybe go and do an office-based job or go to the city or do something else. So what happens is there's going to be a gap when it comes to farming, and that's going to inevitably lead to less food being produced. So we at Grow For Me are looking at ways that we can plug that gap and close the gap when it comes to food security. And I think, again, when it comes to agriculture, and we as women are looking at new and innovative ways to get involved, let's look at ways that we can drive investment into the agriculture value chain so we make sure that by 2050, our people can be fed. Now, to give you some indication of what Grow For Me is like, someone like Monica, and this is just the example, someone like Monica realizes that industries have shrunk, but agriculture has blossomed, wants to get involved in agriculture, but her money isn't large enough to buy or hire land, but she can be at home and she can farm without having to even leave her house. Or you've got someone like Mike, who's very passionate about social impact, very much the kind of person that is looking at ways and means to solve the global hunger crisis and also to help improve food security and help vulnerable people when it comes to those people that live on the continent. So Monica and Mike are just like people like me. I don't know about yourself, but keen to invest in the agriculture space, but lack the trust to sponsor individual farmers. I mean, when I came to Ghana, I've always looked at how can I acquire some farmland? How can I look at ways to farm? But the problem is who to trust. The problem is, does that farmland that you acquire have the right soil moisture in order for you to grow in that area? How do you know that that farmland is the right farmland to grow pineapple or even cocoa or mango? You don't know. You need an expert to be able to do this for you, and also then once you've built your farm, who are you going to sell to? And this is the reason why Grow For Me are quite innovative, because we solve these problems for you. So what we do is we enable anyone, wherever you are in the world, to grow. Essentially, all you need to do is you visit our website, which is growforme.com. You'll go on our website, you'll find a crop that you will like, you'll pick it, and then you can select how many units you want. Now, a unit is the equivalent, how we measure our units is the equivalent of 1/8 of an acre. And essentially what you'll do is you pay for it, you'll sit back, you monitor the progress of your crops, and we will essentially grow for you and sell on your behalf. And what happens is that you get back your principal plus your profits, and you have the chance to redo it all over again. So very quickly, what I'm going to do, because I don't have much time, is I'm going to show you very quickly our website, and you'll see how that is. So on our website, what you'll see is you'll see the various crops that are available. As of today, we have pineapple and we've got soybeans available. Pepper, we will have soon. Cabbage we'll have soon. Maize, our second cycle of maize actually sold out last week, even though we haven't started farming yet. So farming starts this coming week, but we sold out very quickly. And our first round of soybeans, again, that sold out a couple of months ago as well. Now, this is all listed in Ghana cedis. To give you an equivalent, whether I do it in euros or pounds, let me give you an example of soybeans. So soybeans in Ghana cedis, let's do it to euros, is equivalent of 18 euros for 1 unit. In pounds, we're looking at roughly 16 or 17 pounds for 1 unit. That's soybeans. So remember, 1 unit is equivalent of roughly 1/8 of an acre, or if you're familiar when purchasing land, you normally, I don't know how it is normally in Nigeria, but in Ghana, when you're buying a land, it's 1 plot, and 4 plots equals 1 acre. So the equivalent for 1 unit for us is half a plot of land. So our farming start date is also listed. We won't farm until June. We're already driven by the farming seasons and the climate. Of course, the rainy season will start back again in June. So we have to wait in order to start planting. But we always open up earlier because we always oversubscribe before farming starts. So you can simply come to our site. You can see where the farm will be. You can see what your return on investment would be. And we always give you a range. We say that for the money you invest, you are likely to get anywhere from between 7.2 to 8% return on your investment, up to 31%. Now we give a range because, as with any investment, you can never guarantee the exact returns, but we offer a range because there are multiple variables. So if you like the look of soybeans, as I said, soybeans is in high demand at the moment, you'll simply come to the site, you'll click on sponsor a farm, and then what you will do is you'll give your farm a title. So you might want to call this, I don't know, Tolu's Farm maybe. And then you can select how many units you would like. So on the right-hand side, it will show you, and again, this is in Ghana cedis, but you're more than welcome to check with Google what the equivalent would be in your local currency. And eventually what we will do is start to change this, because we do have investors from all over, US, Dubai, South Africa, and they always want to know what the equivalent is. Now, on the right hand or the left hand side, you can select very dynamically how many units you would like, and it will calculate for you how much the total payable would be and how much your return would be in terms of the range. So let's say, for example, you wanted to spend, let me give you roughly, let's say 200 euros you wanted to spend. That would tell you that there's roughly, that would be 1,370 Ghana cedis. Now you'll select how many units you want up to that value. Yes, so roughly 10 units is what you would spend for 200 euros. And then what it will show you is what your return on that sponsorship would be in Ghana cedis. So 100 Ghana cedis to the equivalent of euros would be about 14 euros rather. And then on the high side, so again, we give you a range. On the high side, if things went really, really well, about 63 euros. And that is in 5 months. Bear in mind that the time period for soybeans to be ready is 5 months. Now, if you think about your maybe ISAs, etc., you have like 1% in 1 year, you know? So if you look at this period is from June 2021 to December 2021. And what we would do is we would give you a return on sponsorship at about within 3 to 4 weeks after the farming start date, after the farming has ended. So by, I guess, January 2022 is when you would receive your payout. Now, bear in mind, because we've opened very early, you can't really see it in that regard. But for those people that have just sponsored our maize, we start farming for them immediately, and they will get their return in February, because we're in the farming season for maize right now. You know, so this shows you clearly what your returns would be, and there's more information when you expand it, what that is like. It would explain to you the yield per acre. So if you were going to get 10 units, how much will you be yielding in kilos? So how many kilos of soybeans will that produce? And it would also tell you the selling price. Now, we at GrowForMe are listed on the Ghana Commodity Exchange. And that means we've got access to not only the local markets when it comes to maybe market sellers and people that need soybeans, but we've also got international, we've got the chance to sell internationally. So we can see the price point per kilo for each of our, you know, products. And it will show you, based on those variables, what your profit you as a sponsor would get, what the farmer would get. As I said, the farmer gets 35%, and GrowForMe as a company get 15%. So it shows you a range on the low side, and I'm normally very conservative, so I always look at the low side. But on the high side, what you're likely to get if we also achieve the high points of the variables. And then it'll show you what your entire return on sponsorship is, which means after the farming has ended, 3 to 4 weeks after, you will get your profits plus your initial investment back to you, dispersed to the account that you wish it to be dispersed to. So that's how we work. And I'll quickly, because I've got 5 minutes left, I'll quickly show you what my personal farm looks like. So I have a shop in Ghana called Leona Nails. I named it simply after my shop. And you get to see the various pictures. And I've just come last weekend, a week today, I was in the northern part of Ghana where I went to go and visit the farms to see how it is. I went to go and visit the farmers. I asked them, because I have my money in this. So I asked them, you know, how is it going? You know, how have we benefited you from GrowForMe, etc. So I've seen what it's like. So you get to see what the land preparation is like. You get to see how the items are looking when it's planted. So my internet is pretty slow. And then you get to also see what it looks like. And this is my favorite picture so far. You get to see what the soybeans look like as of today as well. You know, so you'll start to see it at this stage. You also have access, as I said, to satellite images. So if you wanted to see over a period of time what the satellite images are like, you can log in and it'll show you the exact time, and you can scroll through the timing and see how whereabouts the farm is, and then you can zoom in and see how it's been progressing over that time period. So that is essentially how Growth for Me works. And one other thing that we do that's maybe of interest to you, you might personally like to get involved in buying and selling crops. So you might not even want to receive the cash, but you might want to receive the soybean as soybean. You might want to see the pineapple as pineapple. That way, when you receive it, you might want to start to get into the import and export of crops. So you might say, okay, we've grown it for you. We will bag it up. It will be ready. You come and sort out the logistics and arrange for someone to come and collect. You can then do your import or export via the harbor, and trade it with whoever you need to trade it with. Or maybe you have a smoothie bar, and you just need access to pineapple. You've got the chance to just get the pineapple and use it for your own personal use. So that option is there for you. So that is essentially us at Grow for Me. A new innovative way for you to also invest your money. So I'm more than happy. I know I've got about 3 minutes left. If there's any questions before I, hand back, and then go from there.
Thank you very much, Lorraine, for that really powerful presentation. We have a few questions coming in, but I know that I've sent a message that you have to step out of the room for a little while, but you'll be back. So if there's any question that you can answer quickly from the chat there, definitely. But I know that definitely people have more questions coming for you later on. So you have this question says, Amanda asked, if I've invested, is there a facility to have the stock I've invested in delivered to the country I'm staying in?
So I think that's what I was trying. So for us, we offer the two scenarios. If you like the crop, the most that we do is we bag it and store it in the local warehousing facilities where the farms are. So this weekend, for example, I went to Tamale in the northern part of Ghana, which is about 10, 11 hours outside of Accra, where I am. And they have a local warehouse facility there. So we would store the items there, and you would have to, from a logistics perspective, arrange for the transportation. Now we can help or direct you to certain people that can help. But yeah, the logistics side of things would need to be for you. The next question before I jump off was, how long has the business been operating and how many sponsors do we have so far? Good question. So officially we opened up to the public this year. We have more than 400 sponsors already. However, we started trialing the business model in 2017. So already had worked with a number of trials from 2017 before we officially opened up to the public this year. But as I said, we've got more than to be specific, 371 sponsors, I believe it is, that we have to date.
That question was from Kat. Kat, I hope you're happy with that response. Yeah, Kat?
Yes, I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So Lorraine, thank you very, very much. We shall have you back just after Senukadigwe's presentation, where we have the question and answer session. So it's been fantastic listening to you there. I mean, I've heard it before, but it was good to hear it again. And when I heard it, I really wanted to bring it to a wider audience, because I felt there's really the real value in what you bring. So thank you very much. We'll see you shortly. Okay, ladies, how did we find that? We can unmute ourselves now. Thank you.
Thank you.
How did you find that, ladies? What did you think?
For me, I found it so amazing. And when I was listening, I was like, oh my God, here I am. I thought that I cannot do anything. So after listening to her, I feel so motivated to say, as a woman, actually, you can break boundaries, you can do something and you can be successful, and not to be an ageist. I was looking at her, I was seeing a young, beautiful lady who's making it for herself. So I can say I'm really motivated.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for that, Kat. Thank you so much for sharing that. Patisani, who else wants to share? What do you think about that session? What do you think?
Hello, ladies, and I see a gentleman in there.
Henrietta.
Hattie, yes.
Go ahead,
Thank
please.
you so much for inviting me. I must say it's a real eye-opener. Just looking at how innovative an idea as simple as this and how innovative it is. It's inspiring, it's encouraging, and coming from Ghana myself, I am looking at it thinking, wow,
Absolutely.
you know, I'm really, really impressed. And I love the idea, the fact that you can take something as simple as that and make it
Absolutely.
your own in a unique way.
Thank you very much. I heard Lorraine. Well, I didn't hear her. I just met her on another group of entrepreneurs that I belong to, and I felt, I contacted her, and she did the same presentation to me, one-on-one. And then I felt, look, I shouldn't just hear this on my own. Let me bring it to, the network. And I'm really glad that it's something that we found valuable, because I think that for many of us, we need just to shift our thinking a little bit, just be able to create something really meaningful for ourselves as women entrepreneurs, especially from Africa. So this is our networking time. We're opening up the floor. Please do unmute yourself. This is my cup. Let me see your cups raised up. If you have a cup there. If you don't have a cup, you are in trouble.
I have a very large
I
one.
don't have.
This is called Coffee and Connect. And I'm not trying to sell coffee. But whatever floats your boat. But as long as you're sitting down, you're really comfortable, and you are in the midst of people ready to listen and learn, and also to teach other people. So very quickly, I'm going to tell you about HerGenuityAfrika, and I'm also going to ask you to talk a little bit about yourself before we have Atinuka Deboye come in. And when we ask you to tell about yourself, please don't be shy. Okay, don't be shy, because I don't know, what you do, and I don't know how you can be of benefit to me and to my business unless you help me see it. All right, so it's important that you, even though I don't like to say sell yourself, but let's see what you got. When I was saying to somebody, I said, when I say to my children, when my children say, "Do you think you're brilliant?" I say, "I am brilliant." And then my 8-year-old go, "Stop bragging." And I said, "I'm not bragging. I'm just stating the facts. I'm brilliant." So please, when you talk about yourself, you're not bragging. You're just stating what it is. All right. So talk to us about what you've done.
Flaunt it.
Sorry? Exactly. If you got it, flaunt it. You heard Lorraine, she was saying she was doing this, she's doing that, she's doing this, she's doing that. And I'm like, when I'm telling people the things I do, they say, how do you have time for all that? And I'm saying, there's another woman like me that's saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And she looks like she's on top of her game. So the world is, in fact, too small for us. So a little bit about HerGenuityAfrika. And should I start a little bit about myself? Okay, just a tiny bit about myself, because we don't have time. So my name is Toluwani Akahome. I have lived in Ireland for close to 2 decades. That's a long time to be away from home. But it's been great to be here. And right now, what I'm doing a few things. So first, I'm on a PhD program, which is, of course, taking a lot of my time. But my PhD is focused on the work that I do with this kind of work. So my PhD is on migrant entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship education. And my focus of this organization actually motivated me to pick that kind of research area. So I'm also a leadership and people development consultant. So I run a consultancy, and what I do is working with organizations, with teams, individuals, and essentially about helping them think about developing themselves as leaders, whether it be on the organization, whether it be, for themselves. So I talk, think, sleep, drink, leadership, and I think it's a solution for many, many of the world's problems. I can talk to you later about that. I also have a business called Rogate College. Rogate College is an online college, And right now, even though we've been operating since 2017, and we've had a few students from different parts of Africa, but right now we are repositioning ourselves as Africa's first adult learning provider, because we are focused on adult education primarily. So that's ongoing, and we are supporting a few people, you know, to get back into work through education, through upskilling, through reskilling. And so there's HerGenuityAfrika. And HerGenuityAfrika, right now for us, we are Ireland's first business and entrepreneurship network dedicated to the woman of African descent. So that's our focus. We're dedicated to supporting, connecting, promoting current and aspiring professional entrepreneurial women, as long as you have a connection with Africa. And the story behind that is, I mean, it's not really a story. You know how it is with things that have to do with African people. We have not been able to really harness our best potentials. We've not been able to maximize our best potentials. And even seeing the people in this room, I'm excited because I know that there's so much in us that we can do. Even Patisani that was speaking there says, I didn't realize that there's so much I can do. You know, so you're motivated. And that is the story of the African woman. And in fact, the reason why I came up with the name of HerGenuityAfrika is because being ingenious is the trait of an African, particularly an African woman. And that means that we are creative, we are innovative. When you talk about us, you talk about excellence. You talk about resilience. Talk about it. And for me, that is the HerGenuity of an African woman. And that's why we came up with the name HerGenuityAfrika, because we want to bring out the best of the African woman. And more importantly, create wealth for ourselves and for our continent. Because how many of us are rich here? Liz, I know I'm not rich yet, you know. And when we are able, I didn't say rich is spiritual things. So
Rich in faith.
I'm rich.
Rich by faith.
I'm rich in faith.
You know, and that's the story. We are going to get there because already we have the capability. You see, we just need to step in the right direction so that we can get there. And so for us, is about, you know, economic empowerment. And that's why I said my PhD is actually in that line. So I'm looking at the social economic development and integration of women, of migrant women, you know, and I'm looking at the case of Ireland, because we want to see what are those things that constitute as barriers for us, as limitations for us, and how can we overcome them so that we can build ourselves, build our businesses, and build legacies for our children. Because we don't want our children coming out and looking for this and looking for that. You want to be able to say, you know, my child, take over that business, you know, rather than carrying application up and down, you know, and looking for a job. So those are things that are possible. And of course, we can get there. So that's what I want to say in a very little way, in a very short way. And so I'm going to encourage us to join the HerGenuityAfrika network. And in the coming days, in the coming weeks, we're going to be bringing this kind of webinars. We're going to bring, you know, things that can help us to learn how to successfully start our businesses, how to do marketing, a lot of trainings and all of things that we have been planning over the months to add value to ourselves. And we're going to be calling one by one of you to come and do a webinar as well. Atinuka Adegboye, who's going to be our next speaker, is one of the directors of this organization. You know, she's a fantastic, fantastic woman whom I love very much. And I've had to rely on her in so many ways. And so she herself she's making waves in her own space and really working hard. And I'm so proud of her, you know, and she, as a director, is coming on board here to share with us our experiences, and we can learn from her. It could be you that we're going to call tomorrow, Kat, and say, Kat, it's up to you. You're next. Henrietta.
I'm very much ready.
Sorry?
I'm very much ready for that.
Fantastic. And that's what we want to hear, because every one of us has something to share and something that we can learn from. So I'm going to just pass the ball now straight to you, Kat, to say, tell us about yourself.
My name is Katleho Mita Makinita. I'm originally from South Africa. I am now in Ireland, in County Monaghan, and I've been here. This is my 10th month in the country. Not yet running a business, like I've said on the application form, but I'm actually in the process of registering an NGO.
Fantastic.
And yeah, so that is what I'm actually working on right now with few of the Irish ladies. So yeah, that is on the pipeline. And yeah, I'm actually here because of Amanda. Amanda kept on sending me the link.
Amanda
said,
Leone, she is a very part of this organization. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so she I was like, I know Amanda is a very energetic young lady. Great things are gonna come from her. So I thought, when she's pushing this thing, let me just go in and see what is happening. And yeah, I'm very much I will be happy to be part of the organization in future, sharing positive and success growth stories. And yeah, I can say that right now that I'm actually like now enrolled. I got an admission in one of the colleges in Dublin. Will be studying community development. Actually, in South Africa, I had a diploma in credit management, and I was working as a credit manager and a quality assurance agent. So here I will be focusing on community development. My aim is to give back to the community, make sure that we interact with the Irish community and, give back to them and see how we can be able to assist.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So I go to Anna Mukoro. Please tell us about yourself. We want to know you.
All right. Hi, ladies. My name is Anne Omukoro. I'm a life coach. I live in South Africa and have lived in Kenya for many years, originally from Nigeria, and have been in South Africa now for about 8 years. And I'm a life coach. I'm passionate about seeing people healed emotionally. Because I discovered that a lot of times people are hindered by the things that they are, excess luggages that they are carrying, things that has happened to them, in their past, as young people, as children, wounds that have happened to them over time. And if I realize that if you don't deal with these things, it follows you, and at the end of the day, you don't, it hinders you from achieving your full potential. So that's where I come in. I love to see people healed. I love to walk alongside people to become the best self that they can be, and work with people to find the things that they have lost in their lives, that if once they are able to discover and recover those things, they can be their best self in life. I'm also a fashion designer, and I love creating designs. I love to make people beautiful. I love to see people looking good, because before people get to hear what you've got to say, they would have already assessed you. They would have looked at you. I love to create fashion that speaks, that when you show up anywhere in life, you don't have to apologize for being an African. You don't have to apologize for being you. You are confident. You have the courage, because of your full presentation of yourself. So that's what I do. I also work with ladies in the community, to give skill, find a way of, going into people's life and finding what they can do. And sometimes you discover that people, they have the skill, they have the gift, but they do not know how to harness this gift, how to, bring out this gift and use the gift. So that's where I come in. I work with them to find out what is it that is your gift, and then work with you to, you know, actually bring out this gift and use the gift to benefit your society, and also in the process of doing that, find fulfillment and find purpose. So basically that's, in a nutshell, that's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you for that. That's really fantastic. Okay. Shall I open the floor and say who will go next rather than calling names? Or will I help to call the names? Okay. Will I help by calling names? Okay. All right.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
I think I forgot two more things that I do. So I'm also a psychologist by training. I'm also currently studying to complete my Doctor of Naturopath. So when it comes to natural health, you know, everything that you need to know about natural health, how to take care of your health, you know, that's where I come in. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Evelyn. Evelyn Nomayo. Thank you. So we give you about 2 minutes.
I don't have to use 2 minutes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am now a farmer.
Welcome on board.
Welcome.
After listening to, was it Wright?
Lauren Wright.
Yeah, I'm going to be a farmer now. My name is Nomayo. I'm originally from Nigeria. I live in Ireland, and I've been in Ireland for, how old is my son? 17 or 18 years, for 18 years now. Before I came to Ireland, I was actually a business person. I owned my own business. I was into computer hardware. I was selling to companies back home, you know. So, but when I came to Ireland, I decided to focus on IT. So ever since, I've been in that space. I've worked with different organizations. I've worked with some multinational organizations and small private governments. I also own a college called Northeast College. I work with the government in delivering training for the unemployed. Help young people to get into universities. And at the same time, I own a non-for-profit organization called Phase Innovate. And what we do there, we try to bridge the gap between the underrepresented in tech and with a focus on race. You know, so I try to encourage more girls to get into technology, you know, to make them become technology entrepreneurs. I'm also a PhD fellow, and what I'm studying at the moment is how can we use IoT to improve the services in the medical space. So that's my area of specialty. I guess that's about me.
Things.
Sorry?
I said IoT being the Internet of Things.
Oh yeah, IoT. So it's IONT. That's the space I'm. Internet of Medical Things. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Evelyn. It's fantastic, you know, and we all wish you well in all of that. I'm going to call the first guy, the first man. There's another man we are missing, actually. I don't know what happened to him, but let me call this man in the midst of ladies. How powerful you are. Blessed are you among women. Dr. David Inyaluke, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tolewan, first for the invitation. And actually nice to be here to meet you all. So I am David Inyaluke. I am from Tanzania. So at the moment, I am, and I think this is why maybe we have linked with Tolewan, I am like the kind of African business promoter in Ireland. So I am doing this through universities. So I go around business schools and I talk to the students, how can they do business with Africa? And as you know, with Africa, it's always about removing the biases that people have, historical stereotypes, and to tell them that, you know, Africa is out there and is ready for business. So at the moment, mostly in Ireland, I am going around about 15 business schools. Yeah, 15 business schools. So that's what I do. I have a PhD in politics and development, but now I'm combining it with business. I'm involved also in the community in various organizations. Also, we have, I think I'm seeing Evelyn there, but also Flewan. We are together in the African Scholars Association of Ireland. Yeah, and especially it's also an honor. I am in the advisory board of the HerGenuity. So at the same time, I am learning a lot, but at the same time, I'm also providing advice. So it's a pleasure to be here, to meet you all. And I think I might stay a little bit, but maybe later on I will zoom out quietly. But so far, so good. And Lily, congratulations for all what you guys are doing. It's fantastic work. I think definitely this is time for Africa, Africa men, Africa women, Africa boys, and Africa girls. It's our time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nyaluke. It's always such a blessing to have you there. As much as this organization is focused on women, we also work with men. Our men are our allies. They are our biggest supporters. So we are definitely absolutely blessed to have David Nyaluke as one of the members of the advisory board of HerGenuityAfrika, and he is so fantastic. We were talking till about 10:30 last night. I said, oh, David, it's enough. Let's go and sleep. But we always talk about, what we talk about is Africa. Africa, how can we promote Africa? How can we support our people? And that's one of the course of our conversation every single time. So it is great to have you. Thank you so much. Henrietta Anand, you are so welcome. This woman is a powerful Ghanaian woman. So please, we are glad to connect with you. So
thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Like you rightfully said, that's my name. I am a Ghanaian by birth, a citizen of the world, I call myself, a beloved daughter of the Most High God. I have lived in Ireland just a little short of 2 decades. I am a nurse by profession. I trained in Ireland. Before that, I have a background in business management, and I am a scholar, if I should sell myself, with Trinity College Dublin. I am hoping to do a PhD next year in the health. I would just be my PhD, I am hoping would be looking at the healthcare needs of migrants, and I am hoping to focus it on West African migrants. So hopefully I'll be knocking on doors and seeking for advice from a lot of you. It is a real pleasure to connect with everybody and to meet all of you. I consider myself also as an entrepreneur. I'm an elite health consultant. Elite health is a state of being where your health, your age does not determine your ability. And I am a consultant in that regard. I educate people on living elite health. I am hoping to come out with a book on health very soon. It's in the pipeline. What else? I am a milliner as well. I do headwears and I sell them online. Fantastic. I have recently founded a women's group, Association of Ghanaian Women in Ireland. It is something, I had a burden on my heart for so long, and I decided to act upon it. And I have brought a few of the Ghanaian women I know here together, and fantastic. We are hoping to get going. Women is a passion I have. Women empowerment, women support is something I have. It's just because I have sat down and I have seen how powerful women can be. And so I know that as women, if we identify first of all how powerful we are, and we harness that power, God-given power and abilities from within us, and we use that and apply that to everything we do, the society will be much, much, much better. So I am pro women. I am pro women empowerment. I am pro women support and love. And so it is, I called this morning a blessing to see and connect with all the women here. And all I say is cheers to greater things ahead. It's a pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you so much, Hertie. Thank you so much. We are so blessed to have you in the network. So we're going to Amanda Tamara Nyoni. I call her by a full name. I love her so much. And I'll go for it, Amanda.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so my name is Amanda Tamara Nyoni. I've been in Ireland for about 9 months now. I have a degree in accounting, currently doing a leadership and community development program. I've done a few programs also since I got to Ireland, Migrant Leadership Program. I've done an INCO Academy, Introduction into Tech course, just, a few things here and there. I'm also just kind of, under the wing of Toluwami in terms of leadership and mentorship, such a great woman. But also just to see everyone here who's on board, I think it's really going to be a great experience. Already, I think coming out of it, you don't have an excuse not to be a farmer. Because it seems quite doable and easy.
Okay.
But yeah, I think for me, I honestly just have a passion to just, for ladies, for just seeing each other, like lifting each other up. I think there's, my success does not affect your success in any way. We should be able to get to that point where it stops being a competition and, we begin to hold each other up. So that's, I was on quite a few people's decks, although something people didn't show. Some people here I was not doing calls. But I just really just have a passion to see people lifting up, and any opportunity where we can work together and help each other. I think for me, we're already winning. So yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much. And then Sandra Moyo.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's almost afternoon anyway.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Where's your cup? Sandra, where's your cup?
Yeah, it's right here. Hello, guys. My name is Sandra Moyo, and I'm some relative to Amanda, and I'm here because of her. So yeah, Susan invited me. Yeah, I currently live in Dublin, Ireland. Originally from Zimbabwe. So I'm here to listen in and hear how other entrepreneurs are doing it. So yeah, it feels good to be here. Thank you very much for.
Thank you very much. Great to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. Can you hear me, Vanessa?
Good morning.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
You're hearing me? Hi. Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Great, great.
I started a bit late, right? Because I was up until 4 a.m. this morning, so my apologies.
No problem. No problem.
My name is Vanessa, and I've been in Ireland for 1 year, 1 month, and
6 days. 7 days now.
Yes. Well, yeah, 7 days. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm from the diaspora, right? My connection with the continent of Africa, I'm African by race. My husband is from the continent directly. And what about me? I came to join this group so I could get some more insight on what's going on and build some connection. I'm a secondary school teacher by profession. It's a hurdle to get into secondary school here in Ireland. Currently, I'm trying to register with the Teachers Training College on conditional. I applied to some universities to see if I can get a scholarship to do my master's. Unfortunately, nothing didn't go good as yet for that. I have 2 degrees, Bachelor of Education and Bachelor of Science. I've been teaching for over 10 years. I also have a background in sports. I used to be an athlete. I used to play soccer as a goalkeeper. I also did some community work in my country where I worked as a sports officer. and also with community development and things like that, training young people and helping the elderly. Right now, what I'm doing, seeking employment at the moment. Since I've been in Ireland,
That network is really bad.
To make a little nothing magnificent, but it pardon?
I said that network is really bad.
Oh, I'm using air.
All right. We're going to boycott.
And I'm using air and are you hearing me now?
I can hear you, yeah. So Amanda, would you round up very quickly? Yeah. Sorry, that's Vanessa. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah. Good. So we have a
yeah. So all right. So basically, that's it. I'm looking to network and see what I can do out here.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Who am I missing now? I know Tembi. Right. One more. Tembi, just say, just introduce yourself in one minute. Tembi Malisa. Tembi Nkosi Malisa. I'm not calling you.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, my network is bad, but I guess you can hear me. My name is Tembi Nkosi Malisa, and I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I hold a diploma in mass.
Oh, this network is crazy. The network is very bad. Well, Tembi Nkosi holds a diploma in mass communication. She actually majored in mass media, writing for the mass media, and she is also a part of HerGenuityAfrika and supports our work with the magazine Black. So she is a fantastic lady. She writes content, she creates content, and so that's where she adds value. So definitely we'll be hearing more from her later, and of course in other webinars. I think the last person I have here is, who do I have? Or do I have everybody done? Patisani?
No, Patisani, yes.
Very good. Patisani, I'm giving you a countdown.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. All right, my name is Patisani. I'm based in Tulamo. I have a diploma in education and a diploma in genetics that I'm working on, that I'm hoping that it will touch so many women's lives. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you now.
All right. So it's all about goals initiative to say to women, we need to identify the self. You can't identify where you want to go if you don't know yourself. So I'm working with that on that. I'm hoping it will touch so many women's lives. And also I love facilitation. I'm comfortable to facilitate. I love motivating others. I'm a leader. I can say I was born a leader, so I want to also transfer that leadership quality to other women. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that, you know, we are so blessed, you know, to have met all of you here. It is such, I feel really connected and really blessed to have met you. The reason why I asked us to introduce ourselves this time is to get us thinking also about how we can connect with ourselves better. What I can you know, tap from you, what you can tap from me, and get to know ourselves. So even beyond the HGA Business Women's Network, please connect with yourselves across, you know, the globe, South Africa, Kenya, wherever, and get to know one another and how we can do business together. How can we become successful together? So that's really the point of this. So I am absolutely pleased to invite one of HGA directors, Atineke Adegboye. She is, I've said before, fantastic. And every day she's just, you know, becoming a better version of herself. She's fondly called Tinu, and she's a speaker, she's an entrepreneur, and a mind and business coach. I'm going to let, I think she talked briefly about herself earlier, but I'm going to let her go on now and do the intro herself. I know she's really passionate about helping ladies reach their optimal potentials by unleashing their inner power and unveiling the secrets to a life of total wholeness. We have fantastic ladies here. Tinuke, over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored to be here today, and I'm also especially honored to be talking to us this morning. Well, it's afternoon already. I want to appreciate Tuluwani for this opportunity and HerGenuityAfrika as well. Also, I just want to commend Lorraine Wright because she did a fantastic job earlier on, and I was so impressed because I'm someone that is also passionate about farming. My first degree was in agricultural economics, and I virtually have a farm, physical farm that I farm then back home. So that's a great one. And at this moment, I'm always investing in farming projects, especially back home. So I came into Ireland about over 18 years ago now. And I'm originally from Nigeria. I'm resident in Dublin, Ireland at the moment. So my background initially was agricultural economics. Then I did my master's in business administration, and I moved into financial analyst post. So I've been in banking industry in Ireland for over 12 years as a financial analyst. And in the last 3-4 years, I also added coaching. So I'm a business coach, but I'm focused on helping ladies that work in the corporate world to identify the importance of having more than one income stream. And this came about through my story. Back home, before I came in, even when I was in the university, because I was born into a business family, I love business. You know, back in college, I had my own farm, I was selling things, I was doing well. When I came abroad, I decided to focus on my career, and I forgot about business. I totally neglected, majorly because I was earning a very good income. I had enough money to do what I want to do, go on the type of holidays I want to go, put my children in the best schools that is around. But it happened. You know, there was financial meltdown in the world a few years back. This started in 2008, but it never really affected me until 2014. So I started my banking journey here 2006 to 2014. It now affected me. I never had any other source of income other than my salary. And it was very, very bad. I lost my job. I virtually lost my almighty job that fed me, my family, and gave me the lifestyle I wanted. And unfortunately, I had to look for another job, but I could not get that type of job that would give me such pay because every company are trying to downsize. So I got another job, but at the pay that is just about half of what I was getting before. So tell me, how will I be able to sustain my lifestyle? It became very, very, very difficult. But luckily along the line, I retraced my step. I started looking for other opportunities. And because I'm a salesperson, because I started working with all this multi-level marketing, not the quick rich schemes one, but the ones that, you know, you have the product. And that was how I got back into businesses and investments. And since then, I've made it a duty that this is going to be my mission. And I know God wanted me to go into this. Any lady that I come across, no matter how young you are, I preach to you about the importance of having multiple streams of income. So now I have a non-NGO we call LEADS, Ladies Experiencing All-Around Development. I deal mostly with young ladies. I coach them. We have events. I teach them on how to monetize their gifts, what they are talented on. At the moment, as I'm speaking, we have an event online on Instagram. If you go to at the Lead Leagues on Instagram, you see a live event that they are holding at the moment. You know, we have a guest that is teaching them about being creative and using your creativity. But I will join them later on that. Also, I sit in the board of so many organizations. I'm the financial director of my church, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Open Heavens in Dublin. Just as Toluwani says, I'm one of the directors of HerGenuity, and I'm also one of the directors of Treasure Unraveled. Treasure Unraveled is more like X Factor, or is a Christian version, whereby we seek for talented, gifted, talented young children of God to be able to expose their gift and benefit their community. And just like Lauren says, I also have investment in agri-tech, but it's in Nigeria. I'm so fascinated about the one she's talking about because it's a bit different from the one I'm investing in Nigeria. I also have a series of businesses. I have eChoices, which deals with catering. I also have real estate business, and I'm also into shipping cars into Africa. So I do so many other little things. I have a skincare line as well. I do so many other little things as well. So today, I believe most of us, we are entrepreneurs because the topic is entrepreneurs, coffee, and connect. However, it's open to everybody. So if you are not yet as an entrepreneur, please, I want you to give me more of your time. If you are an entrepreneur already, also, I want you to listen to this very, very well. And I want it to be interactive, okay? Very, very interactive. If you have a question and you want to stop me, just raise up your hand using the button on Zoom, and then I will be able to take your question. I'm a mother of 3 wonderful children. I'm married, you know. Actually, this is my second marriage, you know. My first marriage collapsed due to the issue I had at that time when I could not have sustainable income. So, you know, not being financially dependent can cause a lot of things, especially for we ladies. It is very, very essential and important to be financially dependent. And you cannot create wealth and be financially independent if you have just one income stream. It has happened to me. I thought I had everything, but unfortunately I did not. So I just want us to learn from that story. You know, we all have our stories. And sometimes God is giving you, sorry if I keep saying God, I know we have our beliefs, but that's me. You're going through a particular challenge for a particular purpose, just for you to be able to use it to help other people that will be going through that in the future so that they can learn from your mistakes. So whatever you've gone through, wherever it has happened, just make sure you have a purpose for it and make sure you are using it to bless your community. So today we are going to be talking about branding. Branding. There is branding in business, there is personal branding, but today I want us to look at personal branding, even as an entrepreneur or just as a person, because it's the way you brand yourself, that's the way you will be received. Lauren talking about herself today, it's an example of branding. If you can be able to identify what you represent and be able to connect with people, you are branded yourself very, very well. The 20-something minutes she used, she connected with everyone. Already, Evelyn was saying that she's going to be a farmer. So as a business person, I want you to know that people connect with people, not with the product. It's because Evelyn connected with her story, the way she was talking, that she became interested in the product that she was trying to sell to us. And for you to be able to connect with people that will be interested in you and be able to buy from you, then you have to brand yourself. You have to do something that they will be able to identify with you at a glance within few seconds that they've come to associate with you. One of the essence of we having this coffee time is to connect with each other, is to know what you represent, what I represent, what we can bring to the table, how we can collaborate, how we can improve ourselves, and how we can forge ahead. That's one of the essence. And I've been able to see branding in everyone as you're introducing yourself, as you're selling your expertise, as you're telling us even about your future plans. I've been able to see that. And I want us to take this into the business that we are doing or the business we are about to do. So I'll just be looking at my points once in a while I talk to you. Your connection with your audience will always be a deciding factor if they will purchase anything from you or not. And tell me, if you're in a business and you're not making sales, what is the essence of that business? Nothing. Your aim is to make sales. That is your aim. But if you are not connected, you cannot make sales. That is why it's like so many people, it's a bit difficult for them to forge ahead in their business. After a year or 2 or 3 years, it's like the business will just wind up. And I've noticed that trend mostly, especially with we of African descent in Europe. Permit me, Lauren, for keep going back to your story. It's so fascinating, and I definitely would love to connect with you. Lauren said that she is a Ghanaian British born. She was born in UK, but most of us, we came from Africa. But she's been able to identify opportunities. She was never born in Ghana, but she's been going to and fro in Ghana because of her branding, because of the way, because she's able to identify who she is and what she wants to attract. She finds her way back to Ghana, where her parents came from, and she's harnessing the opportunities that are there, that even people that are living there, that were born there, could not harness. And that's one of the purpose of HerGenuity. Most of us, we are in Europe and we've forgotten where we are coming from. We have forgotten where we are coming from. We have forgotten that there's opportunity back home. And that was what happened to me. Back home, I was doing really well. I was into series of business, but I got here and get so relaxed. And I thank God for Tuluani for gearing most of us up to understand. God has even given us an example today in Lauren Wright. Because I'm here to talk about our mindsets majorly today. Because if you don't have the entrepreneurship mindset, you cannot be successful in business. And your mindset also have to do with you branding yourself to be able to attract your ideal clients. It is what they see in you that will make them to come for you. You need to know how to attract your ideal clients. So please ask me questions as you go ahead. Don't let it feel as if I'm just the teacher. I want us to connect together.
I'm putting your main points in the chat room so people can remember.
Yeah, I can see that. Thank you so much.
They can.
So the market out there is so saturated. There is virtually anything that is new under the sun. There is virtually any new industry out there. You still have to compete in the saturated markets. You still have to compete in the sector. So how are you going to stand out? How are you going to stand out from that market? How is anybody going to be able to identify what you bring to the table? It's going to have to be your uniqueness, the way you do it differently from other people. So for example, let's say you want to start a skincare product, or you're already into skincare. If you Google, there are thousands and thousands of skincare providers within your vicinity, talk less of wider range. But that cannot stop you from doing your business, because that's what you need to do. But you just have to identify how you can be different, how you can connect. And it's so saddening that most of us, we don't make use of the technology we have. I hope we'll bring Evelyn one of these days to talk to us on that, especially we ladies, we women, African descent. We look at it as it's so difficult, we don't need it. But this has come to stay. The earlier we understand the use, the better. Understand how to use social media. This is the first thing you need to understand, how to use social media. If COVID have not taught us anything, especially people in business, it has taught you how to understand the use of social media, how to put your business online. If you have a brick and mortar business, I mean, maybe you have a shop that you are selling, it's high time you transition into online as well. I'll give a quick example for those of us that I'm sure most of us know penny shops, Primark, they call it Primark in UK. During COVID, they are not allowed to open because they are selling clothing and things like that. And they lost a lot. But other businesses that were online, like Marks and Spencer, like Tesco that sell clothing as well, they were selling. People were ordering from their room and getting them delivered to them. But Penny's was never online. They don't have online store. And I'm sure they've learned in a hard way. Exactly. So don't think of your business as a small business. I'm sure before you start the business, you have your plans. You have your business plan that you have written. You want to see your business grow. It's not that you just started for fun. You have a purpose, you have a reason, you have your why that you are starting your business. And mostly it's for you to grow, to become an household name. But if you are not visible, if you cannot be seen, how will it grow? Visibility is key in our business. But the main thing that can help you to be visible is you being a brand that can be connected with in your industry. That's why you see some people are doing well in an industry, some are not in the same industry. Some people will be like, I'm so shy, I can't talk. Yes, it is very difficult. Even me talking now, I'm due training inside. That's just on a lighter mode. But you can always improve yourself. You can always improve yourself. When I started my coaching business about 4 years ago, I was just basically helping ladies, because I just realized people start coming to me and asking me, how are you doing this? Because thank God I'm very good at what I do, the businesses I do at that time. And I realized that so many people are going through what I was going through. So I went for coaching certification to add to the knowledge I have. I'm part of the John Maxwell team at the moment. So I went to develop myself. What level are you in your business? Are you trying to develop on what you know? These are the way that your branding can be able to connect with people that need your services. Don't just say, yes, maybe, for example, let's say your business is about cooking. you cook for people, you know. That's one of the business I do. And then you're just like, well, that's all I can do. I'm cooking. And you're just like the same yesterday, today. You're not Jesus Christ. You have to learn about the trend. What is going out there? How are people packaging their food? What type of tools are they using to improve? We need to start doing this. I just decided to come and encourage us today because in my coaching business, these are the things I've gotten to realize from my clients. Just as Toluwani said, we are gifted, we are intelligent, we are resourceful, but putting things together to work is one of the problems we have. Things have to be done in a process, but most of us, we don't follow the process. You know, sometimes it's so difficult to get people of African descent to be a client, to hire a coach. They feel they don't need it, or even get a mentor. It's like we always feel we know everything, and that's why it looks like people of other race, they are moving ahead. It's easy to learn from those that have walked the path than trying to make a new way for yourself. Do you want to say something, Toluwani?
No, sorry.
Okay, yeah. Than trying to create a new path for yourself. It is very, very easy to learn. And these are the things I've noticed with us, we are of African descent. Thank God Lauren is another generation, but she has really, really impacted us today. We can change as well. So I'll just give us 3 ways that we can stand out. Just 3 ways, and then I'll open the floor for, because my time is up as well. The number 1 is your story. Don't be shy about your story. I thank God, God just gave me Lorraine as my my destiny today, you know. She told us her story. That story alone connected us to be able to listen to what she wants to say. What is your story? Be ready and willing to share your story as much as you can on any platform you find yourself. What have you gone through? It might be challenges in your marriage. It might be health challenges. What it is that is your story that have reshaping your life to where you are. That story might not even be connected to what you are selling. Lauren's birth story name is not connected to what she's selling, but she used it to connect us to herself, to be ready to listen to her. So what story do you have? I want you to, when you leave here today, go and think about the stories that you have that you can recreate and start talking about it. Even if it's one-on-one, you are talking to someone, start using that story to get people connected to you. Once they are connected to you, they'll be ready to listen to whatever you want to sell to them. That's the way entrepreneurs think. And that's why we are here today as entrepreneurs. Then number 2 is your gifts and your talents. Have you identified what you are gifted in, what you are talented in? Or are you just trying to do what everybody else is doing? Most of us really, really easily fall into this trap. Oh, this is what everybody is doing. I want to go and learn how to do it. Before you know it, it's not what you are interested in. It's not what you are gifted in. Have you been able to identify where your strength is and what your weaknesses are? It's very important and very good to leverage on your strength, and you can always outsource your weakness. That's how those multimillionaires, that's how they build themselves. They don't know everything. They don't. I had a client that she was lamenting on time to do what she needs to do. She needs to create a digital product because she's very knowledgeable about bookkeeping. That's her day job. And we did a quick brainstorm on what she can be selling aside. So we come up with her creating a digital product, like a course or a book that she can be selling. Even when she's sleeping, people will be buying it online. And she, after a week, she came back that she doesn't have the time to do it. When she comes back from work, she's tired. She has to clean the house. She has to cook. I'm like, and one thing she identifies that she doesn't really like cooking. So she takes longer time to cook. I said, please outsource that cooking. It's not compulsory for you to cook. Outsource it, buy food, buy ready-made food. There are so many people that can cook and deliver it to your house. So that you use that time to be able to create the product that will generate you more income than just wasting 3-4 hours in the kitchen that will not be productive even at the end. Gone are the days when you'll be shamed as a woman that you don't know how to cook. Gone are the days. So don't say you have to, if you're not good at cleaning your house, or you see that there are things you can't do within a short time, and the time you need to do other things that will benefit you, please get people, get cleaners, let them come and clean, while you are using the time to do something productive in your life and in your business. That is how to grow. Those people that you see grow their businesses, those are they whatever they are good at, the gifts, they focus on it and improve on it 100%. Every other thing is at the side. But yet, when you go to their house, you see it sparkling, they are not the one that clean it. They just pay somebody to do it. So these are the things I want us to really understand today. And the third point before I go is you have to be clear on your niche. Like I said earlier on, I'm a business coach, but my niche is ladies in employment, to teach them how to create a business. My niche can change in the future, but for now, that is what I preach. Multiple income stream for ladies, especially the ones in corporate world like me, that believe they have every package they need, health package, good cars, you know, not knowing what can happen tomorrow. Get clear on the niche, on the people you want to serve in your business. I always say that everybody can do business, but it's not everyone that wants to do it. But everyone can do business, but it's not everybody that wants to do it. Doing business doesn't have to mean that you have to have a shop. To me, as long as you are exchanging value to get money, you are in business. That's one of the grow with me that we have been taught today. Put in your money, it will increase for you, and you get more money. Sorry about that. And you get more money. As long as you can do that, you are definitely in a business. So those are the 3 tips I want to leave with us today. Don't forget, branding is very important. People buy people, they don't buy products. Once you understand that people will buy into you, just like Anne Umokoro was saying, she's a life coach. People will buy into her story. They will buy into the results that she has given to other people, not the product or package that she's selling. So thank you so much for having me. You can visit me on my website, www.atinukeadegboye.com. Please follow me on my Instagram page, tino.adegboye, and I'm also on Facebook as Atinuke Adegboye. I recently launched a course on winning strategy to starting and building a successful side business without quitting your job. It's a step-by-step guide on idea generation to launching, and also how to keep in the business, how to balance your job and your business at the same time. Thanks so much for listening to me. I'm sure my time is way, way up. Back to Toluwani.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That was so empowering and really enlightening. Excellent piece. I know that some of us would have questions. Miranda says simplified. That is really good. And when somebody tells you that you have communicated in a really simplified form, that means you've actually hit home. So well done to you, Atinuke Adegwe. Always a pleasure to listen to you. So people, let your comments keep pouring in. Someone's Mita says, that's Kat, she says, thank you. That was very motivating and informative. And Vanessa has a question. She said, what about people who don't want to pay for your service?
That's a very good question.
Okay, before you answer that, but ladies and gentlemen, if our gentleman is still here, please, the floor is open. Keep putting in your questions there and I'm reading them out. Lorraine is in the room. She'll answer your questions about growth for me. So go ahead, please.
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. And that's why it's important to identify your clients, to know who you are serving. Those that you are serving that are connected with you will be ready and willing to buy your products. Whoever don't want to pay for your service, they are not your clients. However, what service are you rendering? Is it a service that is providing a solution to their pain? You have to know the service you are rendering, because these people, they have a problem, they have something that they need solution to. If your service is not giving solution to their problem, they are not going to pay for it. That was why I used the example of Anne, that people will want to see the results from those that she has coached. And through that, they will know that, yes, she knows what she's doing and be able to connect with her. That being said, there are some people that are just, I don't want to use the word pain in the, that's good, yeah. They want free stuff and they don't want to pay. It's left for you to now decide if you want to do it for them for free or you have to make them pay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vanessa actually put a bit of clarification there by saying that especially your neighbor who is from Nigeria and trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I mean, I think you've answered that. There are some people that you should just, shut your gates and say, actually, I'm not available today. Maybe another time. I'll let you know. Find some good way to force them off, because they're really time wasters. They just want to use you. But there are those that, would want to pay, and when you support them a little bit more, they will come to the point where they're actually paying for your services. You have to be able to differentiate between those two. So Patisani says, thank you, Tinu. I like the part that people buy people, not products. Absolutely. I learned the importance of being a brand. Perfect. Great stuff. So it's not just about learning the importance. Tinuke has shared with us how we can actually begin to build that brand. And it's a really powerful connector when you're able to tell the story, a story that can connect with people. And that's a very good way to start building your brand. So let's put that into action, actually. And I suppose this is one of the reasons for this webinar, so that we can actually begin to do what we are supposed to do rather than coming to the webinars. I mean, one of the key things that we had from COVID was that there was so many Zoom calls, Zoom webinars, Zoom meetings. I was completely zoomed out at some stage. Absolutely. And I didn't want to hear about one more webinar. But the ones that really connected with me were the ones that were so simplified that I could, and they actually allowed me to come up with action plans. So today, what I'm challenging you to do as the convener of this group is to ask you to put down those action plans. Following this webinar, okay, am I going to connect with Lorraine and say, I really want to get down to farming? Seeing that we have a few farmers in the house now, Evelyn leading the pack. And so connecting and saying, not just farmer with mouth now, farmer that doesn't want to get your hands dirty. I want to connect with Grow for Me, and I want to really put my money where my mouth is. I mean, even you had 200 euros. It's enough to start. 100 euros. And all you do then is when you get your interest, you can plow it back in. You start small, and that's for you then, you've really started. So it's important for us to really put action plans down. Tinuke has mapped out a few points there, and I put them in the chat room so you won't say, oh, I forgot. So go into a chat, write them down, and so start with that, as small as you can. And one of the things that we're going to be doing as we do these webinars is how we can actually, how you can use 1 minute to talk about yourself. So you do a 60-second pitch. We have to learn the 60-second pitch so that you're not taking 5 minutes to talk about yourself, because people don't normally have 5 minutes. Within a few seconds, bang, 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 they want to hear what you're going to say. And so we need to be practicing that. We're going to be practicing that as a community. So I think, yeah, I've read Pakistani's comment. We also have here, Herty says, awesome, thank you, Tinu, perfect. Vanessa also says, not this, she says, not this Trinidad. They need to do their research. So David Yaluke says, very insightful, drawing from your practical experience and story. Thank you very much. Vanessa says, excellent, and that's excellent for the whole thing. Perfect. So I still have Lorraine in the room. We have about 15 minutes to go. Lorraine, where are you? She's there. Lorraine, we saw that there's some, when you were doing the presentation, there were some parts of some crops that were sold out. So if people, maybe some people will be put off there to say, okay, since it's sold out, I won't bother. If it is sold out, you go there, it's sold out. What do we do?
So can I just say, Tinu's presentation was fantastic. Before, I learned just so much, you know, especially on the point you mentioned about, you know, you don't have to have a shop to do business. You know, you exchange value for money. I think that was very, very powerful. So thank you for your presentation. So with growth for me, and excuse me, allow me to share my screen again, just to explain. So although the immediate products have sold out, let me show you how it is. We always have products available. So if you can see my screen, please kindly give me a nod, then I know you can see it. Okay, yeah. Great. Okay, so what you would always see is when you'll see, we will denote anything that's available by this tab here, it would say available. So as of today, we have pineapple and soybean available. It will show you when we will start farming. So it was really great to hear that there's farmers in this group, and especially Tinu, whose life started in agriculture, which is great. You know, here, you know, with farming, as I'm sure she is aware, you have to be able to farm at the right season. You can't just farm at any point, you know. So we have to farm according to the climate, the weather conditions, etc. So we don't just say we're sold out for no reason. You know, I know the example of Primark was given before. If you go into a shop and something is sold out, it's sold out. You know, but for us, we have to make it. It's because of the farming seasons that we're selling. We are growing in. So we'll always show you that. You can see we're going to start pineapple next month. We're going to do soybeans next year. That's because the raining season will kick off around June. However, it is highly recommended to sponsor it now. And the reason I say that is because these typically get sold out way before we even start farming. People see this start date and say, oh, I've got, you know, almost a year, but it doesn't work like that. The moment that we reach capacity, we will close it off. The same thing happened with our maize. You know, people thought, I'm going to wait till this coming week to sponsor. And they contacted me last week and was like, oh, it's sold out. It's like, well, yeah, we don't wait till the farming season. It's based on demand. We have a capacity. Once that capacity is reached, we can no longer take on any more sponsorship. You'll see that we've got pepper coming up in November. You'll see we've got cabbage coming up next month as well. My strong recommendation for people, if you just want to start off with something small, is to go into soybean. Because soybean, there's a lot of demand as well. So, you know, so I would strongly suggest soybean because it's a low startup point, which I think we said it was roughly 18 euros. However, pineapple is equivalent of probably 320 euros, thereabout, to 330 euros. That is one unit. So pineapple is quite expensive, you know, but you're more than welcome. People have been buying pineapple, you know, in the past week that I've had anyway. So it's totally up to you. So if you are interested in sponsoring, you know, you could either reach out directly to myself and I can walk you through the process. My email address is Lorraine, LORRAINE @growforme.com. I'll type it in the chat window. Or you can simply visit the website, and it's very, very simple. You come to the website, you click on sponsor a farm. You know, you simply put in how you would like to name your farm. You'll select how many units you would like. You'll select if you would like your payout to be cash, as I discussed earlier in the session, or if you like it as crop. So if you would want it to just receive the crop, so the maize, the soybeans, the pineapple as that particular product, you can select crop, or if you want it as cash, you can select it as cash. And you simply just pay it as you'll pay it with any normal e-commerce platform, by card. If you're local, mobile money is available, or if you wish to do a remittance, you can simply click on bank and do a bank transfer to our bank accounts in Ghana. We have our bank accounts with ABSA. ABSA was recently took over Barclays. So, again, so you can simply just take, go with, card, mobile money or bank. And you simply just pay now. That's as simple as it is. And you can, select however many units you would like. And once we've started farming, you'll come back to the site and you can start to see the progress of your farm during that period. Now, the second area, and again, I'm happy those discussions around alternative streams of income, is that you could also earn some revenue from referring Grow For Me to your friends and to your family. I do recommend first that you try it out personally before you recommend, because I think it's always very important that you put your money where your mouth is, and you then recommend that to people. You will get 5 cedis for every referral you make. However, if you would like to become a Grow For Me partner, once you reach a certain threshold, you can then start to earn 1% of everything that someone recommends, or if you refer someone, you can start to get 1% of everything that they have purchased. So again, you can simply do that if you would like to, and that will generate you additional income as well. Bear in mind, this is all in Ghana cedis, I'll let you know, but you can make a payment internationally and we can remit back to you internationally as well. So yeah, so this is it. As I said, we are not sold out in the sense that, it's certain crops that were sold out. And you can invest now for farming season that's happening at a later date. So I hope that kind of answers and addresses the question.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lorraine, for clarifying that. Now, I've sent an invite to Lorraine to join the network so that she can also be available to add value to us. Maybe you have some questions that you want to just put on the forum, because sometimes it's not just you that benefits from the question that you ask. Other people can benefit from that question as well. So how it works is that, for example, on Tuesdays, and I'm going to put that on the WhatsApp group so that those in the network can get an idea of what we're going to be doing, what to expect every week from HerGenuityAfrika. So on Tuesdays is like Ask Your Business Questions Day. So put your business questions in the WhatsApp chat. I've sent you the link to join the group. Put your business questions there. And definitely there'll be somebody, we have mentors, we have advisors within HerGenuityAfrika, and there would an answer provided for you. If it has to be a question that is geographically centered, we will work at, being able to connect you with somebody in your own area, maybe in Ghana or South Africa and all that, who'll be able to really answer your questions. So, but anyway, that Tuesdays, every Tuesday is your Ask Your Business Question Day. So put your business question on WhatsApp and then we get somebody to answer. And in doing that, you're also adding value to other people who will get some from learning from whatever business question you put out as well. All right. And I'll put more information about this in the WhatsApp group. On Thursdays, it will be your Advertise Your Business Day. All right. So it's either advertise your business, and if you are the business, you are the brand, feel free to advertise yourself. Put the pictures there, put enough information so that people can connect with you. All right. So that opens the door for you to be able to also grow your business and connect with other people. Okay. So as I said, I'll put more of that on the WhatsApp group. So we have, just as we were speaking there, know that Miranda put, just as Lorraine was speaking, Miranda put a post there, Miranda Moloto. Miranda, where are you based? Miranda, you're muted.
Hi, yes. Hi there. Hi, Good day, everyone. I'm in South Africa. I'm in Johannesburg.
Fantastic. Miranda is a
Yeah.
real estate podcaster in South Africa. Yeah, you actually put that.
Yeah.
And she says she would love to have more guests on our podcast, you know, who own real estate farms. So even for those of you who are virtual farmers at this stage, she would also want to be able to ask you questions about your experience and all of that. And she also is into real estate. So she would love to hear from you if you want to be part of that podcast. Miranda, before you came in, we got a chance to introduce ourselves. But
okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to, the floor is open. Once you join the network, you can certainly talk to people about what you're doing and connect with them as you want. The network is there for us to connect. It is about women of African descent and men as well. All right. Connecting and growing our businesses together. And just as Atinuke said, and what HGA is about, we are not focused only on the countries in which we are geographically located. The world is our oyster. Feel free to connect with people everywhere, but also focus on bringing your businesses into the continent, into developing the African continent, okay? Because it is so important, not just for us, but also for our people, that they are also, through our growth, they're also able to grow. Okay, so let's think about it. Unfortunately, I have somebody in Uganda who's part of the network, Hope, who couldn't be here today. She talks a lot about the opportunities that are in Uganda for us to do business. And she and I are working together. We're hoping that we can bring you, and that's one of the things we're going to bring you, information on importing, exporting, you know, really adding value to you. And of course, if you also have something that you want to use to add value to the network, please send me a message, a private message, and say, Tolu, I have these ideas that I want to use to improve, you know, what we're giving to our entrepreneurs. And I'll be more than happy to have you on board, you know, do those sharing. Okay, Miranda's asking, are the farmers downstream benefiting from growth for me? Lorraine, are you still there?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I see a few questions, so I'll try and address all of them.
Fantastic.
Yes, so I visited, and Miranda, before you joined, I was explaining that I visited the northern part of Ghana last weekend, a week ago today. And I actually asked, and I had some interviews with the farmers that we sponsor, and I asked them very transparently, what is the difference between what is Growth for Me giving you versus what you would have had without Growth for Me? And I asked that question because I was initially a sponsor before I joined the team and worked for the company, and I have my money in it. So selfishly, I'm asking, you know, how are we benefiting you? So the question it's all about how they're able to expand to produce more. So a guy, for example, I said to him, you know, how many acres could you have actually produced without Growth for Me's help? He was able to produce 8 acres if we didn't help him, but with helping him, he was able to double it. And then I hope my next question would also address the question of Hertie, because what they, you know, typically, especially here in Ghana, and I'm sure this might exist in, you know, Eastern Africa, West Africa, South Africa, is that especially smallholder farmers, and when we refer to smallholder farmers, we're talking about farmers that have maybe access to, you know, up to 14, 20 acres, for example. And they are, you know, farms that are within their family, or, you know, they're leasing it from a local chief or something like that. Now, these people are typically people, and I'm sure no one is a stranger to this, but these are typically people that leverage manual technology, or, you know, there's manual labor. So they are people that are walking around with cutlasses and things like that, doing things by hand. And when they're planting, they're literally taking a step, creating a hole, and then planting the seeds in there, right? Now, what we are doing through Growth for Me is giving them the ability to leverage mechanized technology, you know, whether it's tractors, whether it is, you know, the access to different things to help them to become more efficient in their processes. Now, to be very clear, these farms are rain-fed farms. So there is no irrigation techniques used at this moment in time. But the moment that we start to expand as Growth for Me, we will start to also help them when it comes to irrigation techniques. And again, to address Hertie's question, we haven't got to that stage yet to help them to use irrigation, but rather at this stage, how can we support them with more mechanized technology? When it comes to also plowing the land, do we encourage them to turn over the land twice in order to, help to cultivate the land? So the different things that we're trying to help encourage them to do to cause more efficiency in that land. Or with that land. Another thing that we do as well, again, to address Hertie's question, is especially when it comes to maize and soybeans, we work with farmers and help them to understand, soil cycles. So we might start with maize, and then we will then not do maize for a cycle, but then do soybean for a cycle, because there are certain nutrients that soybean would have and deposit into the soil, which would help encourage or improve the soil content for the next cycle of maize. So these are the kind of things that we do. So rather than just do maize, we can turn over the cycle of different crops to help also feed into the soil and turn that over. And then there was another question about, can one sponsor more than one crop? Absolutely. The minimum is sponsoring one crop. So sorry, one unit of a crop, but you can mix and match, have a shopping basket, pick as many as you want as well. There was a question from Evelyn. Agriculture businesses are sometimes fraught with uncertainty. How do you leverage technology to help farmers to find more efficient ways to protect their crops from weed? Yes, so it's a very, very good question. And I asked this question myself. We do, unfortunately, we are not at a point that we can claim that we are organic, and everything we do is also non-GMO. But we do use weedicide, so we work with farmers to support them with, purchasing weedicide. So at the moment, these are smallholder farmers. I'll be very clear. They are smallholder farmers. They're not necessarily large-scale farmers that, are used to using technology. So we start with, tractors. We start with planting mechanisms, also giving them access to fertilizers and weedicides, especially. So those are things that we do in terms of helping to make it more efficient to control their weeds.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lorraine. I've actually put on the WhatsApp group there Lorraine's contact details for those who want to chat with her further about what she is doing. And Atinuke's details as well, she can put it there herself. We have just about a minute or so to go. Amanda is an administrative head of HerGenuityAfrika, and she's going to chat with us about how to connect with HerGenuityAfrika from forthwith. Over to you, Amanda.
Thank you, Toluwani. I think one statement that Tinu said was that African women were generally afraid of technology and social media and, going on board. But like she said, this is the era of going online. So using your social media, don't be scared of it. Go on to Instagram, follow us at HerGenuityAfrika. Put a hashtag even on your own personal post, ladies. Even if it's my account, as long as you tag Genuinity Africa, something that's business-like, something that's building that we can all benefit from, hashtag Genuinity Africa. It doesn't matter what it is, whichever platform. We're on Facebook, HerGenuity Africa. We're on LinkedIn, HerGenuity Africa. We are on Twitter, HerGenuity Africa. We also have another platform on Facebook, African women entrepreneurs, right? Follow our page, like us, post. I cannot emphasize, guys, the importance of also sharing what you have. So please, whatever you've gotten, be able to not be selfish in gaining information or knowledge. Let's have an attitude of building each other up. Go to 5 more ladies outside of yourself today. Tell them about what's happening at HerGenuity. Share our links. Tell them to follow on. We have a WhatsApp group. Invite people. Sometimes, like someone mentioned, I think it was Tinu or Lorraine, I'm not sure, one of our speakers, but they mentioned that you don't necessarily have to be selling it. You can still be in a day job, but investing in something. So even when you approach people, don't have the mindset of they are not an employer, they probably can't come up with a shop. Yes, they might not be in that stance. They can have a day job, but maybe there's someone who's interested in investing. Share the information. So share the information, go onto our website at HerGenuityAfrika. We're available on the platforms. So share, follow us. Follow us, ladies, and do not procrastinate.
Amanda is the Africa evangelist.
We're ending this call at 1, or we're about to end it by 1:30, ladies. It's more than ample time for you on your own to have gone onto the platform and began to follow us. Follow us, share with at least 5 people before the end of today.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you very much. Officially, we've ended the webinar. I want to thank each and every one of us that joined us today. We have 14 people stayed here from beginning to end, and that is really fantastic. I had so much value from this, and I hope that you did as well. So the room is still open for the next 15-20 minutes. If you want to stay and talk to Atinuke, or you want to talk to Lorraine, or you want to chat among yourselves, because this is an opportunity to get, to connect even more. So the room is still open. God bless you. See you next time. We're posting the next follow-on of this video will be put on HerGenuityAfrika Facebook page, and also subsequent programs, you get to know about it. God bless you.